Hey there, Scott Yurgulevich from Philadelphia Cricket Club. I saw your video. I thought it was pretty nice. You had a lot of good things going on with your golf swing. And when I watched it, I actually kind of thought to myself, man, this is a kind of a similar shaped fella as like a Boo Weekly, and you need some more Boo Weekly components mixed into your golf swing to make it work better. So when I watched you make your backswing, I checked out the grip. I saw the slightly strong left hand. The right hand is placed on the club, probably appropriately for a stronger grip. And then as you take it back, this is your practice backswing. So you're trying to maybe get the shaft pitched a little, more vertical. You're cupping your left wrist a little bit. If you have a strong grip, cupping your left wrist is not a terrible idea. It keeps some loft on the face. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of good, strong gripped players will typically cup their left wrist. The Paul Azingers of the world, Webb Simpsons, they will do that to make sure there's enough loft on the face to get the ball airborne and, eliminate any kind of like duck hook. So that's your practice version, kind of get it back, create a little depth. And I'm going to specifically point out, look at that trail arm or trail elbow. It's kind of stuck in there. That's great. Let's see what you actually do in your real swing. We need a little bit more of this action than what you're currently doing. So let's scroll through a little bit. There we go. And let's zoom in. So when you set up, first thing I'm going to have you do is, let's kind of tilt my camera downward. You set up with your shoulders slightly close to the target. You can see these little dots here. The dot on the left shoulder would be the red dot. It's kind of showing that you're open to the target. I know it's not a perfect science, but the program does a pretty good job of kind of figuring out where the shoulders are, and you're definitely open to the target. So let's kind of re-square your shoulders, kind of take the right one, drop it back a little bit. So you're probably going to see a little more, left arm from this position as you would, as opposed to this position here. That's step one. Get that kind of squared away, and now let's see what the rest of the swing does. We take it back. P2, pretty good there. P3, plenty of depth there. As the club gets back, you have plenty of hand path depth. Club is kind of pitching at a pretty good angle there. That's not bad at all. And then I'm going to get you up to what hypothetically would be the top of the backswing, maybe a nice little P4. So P4 would be left arm all the way at the very end of your backswing. Really great place. You got a lot of great depth. When I say depth, I mean how far back the handle of the club travels in relation to where it started. So it moved back very well. Let's erase some of those lines. But here's our issue is like from that point on, we're assuming we need more backswing. We need more power, need to hit further. So what are you going to do? You're going to add a lot of arm lift. So you've stopped rotating and you started to just kind of extend and reach the arms up into the air. So your trail shoulder and elbow went from being what would be considered maybe externally rotated to coming back out and standing more up. So I need to see if we can kind of remedy that a little bit. And here's how we're going to do it. All right, so I've got these two tees. We're going to take one tee here, put in your armpit this way, tee here. I want your arms to feel like they're more on top of your chest out here. From this angle, they're going to feel like they're more on top, as if you're going to like carry something really heavy. From there, you're going to get the club back to P3, and then you're going to start turning and extending. And if you want to go back further, you're going to have to turn and extend more. If you notice, my elbows look a lot different than yours at this position. My wrist angles look a little bit different, but I cannot physically go back any further without dropping those tees. So from this angle, it's going to look a little bit more like this. You would normally lift. I'm going to keep extending and turning. That's as far back as I really need to go. To help you kind of understand this concept, I'm going to put another golfer up there. Like I mentioned, Boo Weekly. He'll probably help explain some of the issues that you're having and what it looks like when you do it properly. So here we go. We got Boo Weekly up on the top. We got you on the bottom. Let's just take Boo Weekly all the way up to P3, and let's take you back down to P3 right here, left arm parallel. Very similar positions in terms of hand path depth. A little different in terms of the pitch of the shaft. He has a driver. You have an iron. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different. But let's watch what you two do and as you get up to the top of your backswing. So here we go. Oh, let's see. There we go. So you're going to continue moving the club upwards. You're going to lift, and you're going to get that trail arm way off through your body. Swing gets excessively big, and then you're going to have to make up for it because on the way down, you're going to get steep. So that club's starting to intersect your trail shoulder. You're going to steep early. You're going to try to lean it back to kind of get, the path to be a little less over the top. Whereas Boo Weekly here, he's going to take it back. And I'm going to stop him right about here. This would be the top of his backswing. Just take note of like the difference in his positions of his arms. Trail elbow and bicep is much more connected to his body. His left arm is across his shoulders there. There's no arm lift, absolutely none at this position. And what you're going to notice if we take some of these crazy lines off, is when he comes back down, look at the difference in where that shaft is going to be as it starts approaching mid downswing. So it's kind of underneath his trail shoulder. It's mid bicep, even kind of like a little bit lower than mid bicep. When I say mid bicep, I just mean that's where the club is at that point. Yours is very vertical out. And then you're going to start having to make some adjustments. So yours stays high, up, out. And it's still intercepting your bicep. And his, on the other hand, will start trending more low and kind of now it's down on his forearm. Let's zoom out a little bit. So he's going to be approaching the golf ball from a totally different angle than you. And I think that's probably what we need the most of. We need to model your swing a little more like Boo Weekley, arms together, extend, turn, stop the arm lift. And I think you're going to find some better shot shapes. You're going to be a little more consistent. You're going to feel like you're really kind of covering the golf ball and hitting it much more solid, especially with the irons. Let me know if that works. Give me a holler. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. Thanks.